Paltrocast. Got it. Still a good day?
Yeah, it's been a good day. I've been busy since about 8 o'clock this morning, working on preparing like the guys, the drummer, the guitarist for the live stuff. So been exchanging a bunch of files and doing a lot of explaining on how to do this, how to do that.
Right.
And yeah, it's good. Looking forward to going on the road soon.
So when KMFDM started, were you the leader in terms of being the person who was telling everybody how to do things? And I mean that in a good way. Or did you over time become the leader of the band?
No, it was kind of from the get-go. I mean, I was the only guy that really worked and made money in order to finance studio time, and everybody else was kind of, living into the day, so to speak. And no, it's just kind of, I don't know, it just fell to me right from the get-go, and that has kind of remained the way it is now.
Right. So is this the official 40th year of KMFDM, or do you not think about years like that?
Actually, on February 29, in what, 20 some days, we're having 40 years exactly to the day.
I say that because some people hate birthdays and anniversaries and that kind of thing. And then other people hear dollar signs every time they hear anniversaries and birthdays.
No, it's 40 years, but I don't know. I'm not really for celebrating. I'm just looking forward to the next sort of milestone that will be 50 years.
Interesting. And, 40 years in, still playing big venues around the world. One thing I didn't know is, were the hits the same hits everywhere in the world, or is the US kind of behind the rest of the world? That usually happens with legendary bands.
Well, the US is our main market for both record sales and streaming as well as touring. We haven't really been that much around. We've done one stint in Australia and
Oh,
been to Mexico once, but a long time ago. And other than that, it's just really America, America, and then sometimes we did Europe. But Europe is just way too expensive for bands to tour these days. The gas prices are like so absolutely sky high, and you can't just work for your tour bus. You have to make a little bit of money, and but the way it looks right now, you pay to play, and that doesn't work. I mean, we're still like a total underground band, and we don't have money to throw around to just afford ourselves the luxury to play in small venues with hardly anyone inside.
yeah. Well, I think of your band as a cottage industry, its own thing, where
It is,
you
yeah.
choose when you make the albums, you choose when you do the tours, and the success of the tour of the album is not based on a hit single. It's kind of the same people who are coming out almost like a birthday. When did you kind of realize that you didn't have to worry about trends and that you could just be KMFDM as much as you wanted?
That was a realization that came very early on, I have to say. Because once we came to America for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
we just realized, this is really the land where shit is possible, as opposed to in Europe where the profit in the own house, la di da, it's no good. And I don't know. The U.S. has been really kind to us, and I've lived there for nearly 2 decades, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm always very happy to come back. And of course, I know so many people that come to our shows. And what's really amazing is that a lot of really young people are coming to our shows nowadays, sometimes with their parents. And one or two times we even had 3 generations under the same roof. That was really amazing, kind of like, a 7-year-old with a mohawk and sunglasses with his parents and their parents. It was like, okay.
Yeah. So the new record was partially made in Hamburg, partially in Brooklyn, partially in Florida. Do you have
Right.
studio setups everywhere, or how does that work?
Well, we all have our own little rooms. I mean, they're not necessarily big recording studios, but nowadays you can do a lot of stuff with very little equipment. And so we're just passing stuff around. And more often than not, I would send something off by the time I go to bed. And the next morning, I'd wake up to a new drum track or a new guitar track that they played on overnight. So it's a really nice way to work. And I think if we were just all hanging out in the studio all together, all at the same time, we probably wouldn't make much music. We would do other stuff, you know, just hang out and I don't know, go for dinners and stuff.
Right, joking around or looking for additional drum sounds or that kind of a thing, wasting
Yeah,
time. So the new album has 11 tracks on it. Did you actually record 11 or are there leftovers?
no, they're all recorded. Um, Usually the leftovers, they just are that. They just reside on a drive. And the other day I was looking for something and I stumbled upon that drive and I realized I don't even have cables to hook it up anymore. So, you know, technology has surpassed the age of that leftover drive.
Got it. And in about a month, your US tour date in this market is Irving Plaza, New York City. Did have you always been playing Irving Plaza? Because I remember when I was in high school seeing KMFDM on that roster. As in, have you been playing Irving Plaza for about 30 years now?
Well, the first couple of times we played the Limelight, but then that closed down, and ever since it's been Irving Plaza. I want to say at least since 2000, probably 97 already, maybe 95 even. So yeah, it's that's our mainstay in New York. It's my favorite venue, and
Is it?
we're always welcome there, and you know they're really good to us.
It's intriguing to me when do you ever walk around the second level of Irving Plaza where you see the photos of the artists who played there on the walls, or do you
Yeah,
just stay in the backstage?
no, of course we're walking around,
Yeah, so
getting
when you think about Irving Plaza, about the Who and the Chili Peppers and the Foo Fighters and U2 and all that, some of the biggest artists ever have played at Irving Plaza, but it's not really documented as this legendary venue.
no, it's kind of unassuming in a way.
Exactly. So, this point in your career, when you're playing in New York City, is that an exciting thing or is that just another gig?
No, it's super exciting. I've lived in New York City. Lucia is from there. Andy lives there. So, you know, it's a home run for everybody, really. And I want to say I know probably half of the people that come to Irving Plaza each time that we play there.
Hmm. And looking at the tour routing on this upcoming run, a lot of singers that I know who've been doing it more than 15 years, they need days off. They can't do two nights in a row. You're singing just about every night in a row. How are you able to keep up that?
Oh, it's just, you know, you get used to it. I don't like days off. It's interrupting the flow. You're staying at some dingy hotel and you know, it's no fun trying to find laundromats and stuff like that. I like to keep going. I mean, we've done one tour where we played 33 shows in 32 days without a day off. So, you know, that's what we do. We're KMFDM.
Yeah. So when you wrap up an intense tour like the one you have in March, do you then take off for a couple of weeks?
Not really. I mean, I come home, then I have to deal with the whole aftermath, getting everyone paid and, you know, closing the books on that one. And no, I never have really time off, and I don't like time off. I like to work and I like to drive things on, and you know, I got two new projects already on the desk for me, waiting for when I come back,
Wow.
and that's going to fill up my summer and probably most of the fall as well. So, don't know. I'm already thinking about maybe going back out in October, November, perhaps this year. Um, but you know, those are not fully laid plans yet.
Sometimes when you speak with people from the metal world or, you know, industrial world and you find out what do you do when you're not touring, they're golf people or anything like that. It sounds like Sasha's not a golf person.
No, I'm not really.
So
I'm, I'm
if I'm hearing you correctly, you tour, you handle all of the back end kind of work for the tour and prepping people and the paying out the people. When you make the album, you're telling everybody what to do. KMFDM is everything for you.
no, I'm not telling people what to do on the album. That was a misunderstanding. I mean,
Okay.
everybody has absolute freedom to, you know, throw into the pot whatever they feel like. And I think that's really a good part of why KMFDM is stylistically very diverse, because nothing gets censored, so to speak. And everything goes. And sometimes one of us has an idea that requires a whole song to be turned absolutely inside out, or completely re-recorded, or made faster, or change the chord progressions or something. No, everything goes. I mean, I'm all for testing stuff out and really pushing the limits. Absolutely.
Sorry for the misunderstanding about
No,
them
no
telling
problem.
you what, you telling them what to do. By that, I mean, you don't need a creative project outside of KMFDM so much, although you're on other people's albums and doing a lot of guest vocals. And the reason why is because you're so organized and focused on this group all these years later. You're not phoning it in. This is an industry. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, we're totally DIY. So a tour starts with like talking to my agency, and then booking sort of hand-picked venues. Really think about the routing. What time of year are we sort of on the road? Then I have to organize transportation, tour bus, uh, airplane tickets, sort of organize where the gear resides, where it comes from, and so forth. So I've been working on this tour on and off probably since about August last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're coming into the hot phase, so just like really getting stuff together, and making sure that everybody has what they need, and make sure that we have backstage passes and lanyards and
Yeah.
this and backdrop, and the merchandise is being printed, and so plus, of course, on top of the record release, there's all the interviews, which are like always fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm keeping really busy, I have to say.
Good busy. Well, two quick questions and then I let you go. And the first one is, not a lot is known about you, the human being. So I'm asking out of pure curiosity with this. What was the heavy band that got you into harder music instead of just being a top 40 radio kind of person?
Slayer.
Wow. And how did you discover Slayer?
Somebody left a cassette tape in my car with just Slayer on one side and Metallica on the other side. And that was it. I didn't like the Metallica side, but I did like the Slayer side.
Wow. And then when it comes to your career, and I keep complimenting you with good reason, because I think if most people played Irving Plaza once in their career, they would be telling that story at the bar for the rest of their life. Uh, but being that you've been doing this for decades now, is there anything in KMFDM's career you're still hoping to accomplish?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. I sort of, I kind of roll with the punches. I go with the flow. I mean, whatever opportunities arise, I would be definitely considering them. I mean, I have to say, on the other hand, though, in the past there were possibilities arising and put on a table in front of me, sometimes tied to like very large amounts of money, and I had to make difficult decisions, just sort of, whether to run with a quick buck and totally sort of sell out, risking KMFDM to be, high and dry within a very short amount of time, or maintaining my own sort of regimen, and staying true to what it is that I and we are doing. And I'm happy that I made those decisions and didn't run with any big bucks.
Yeah, I say congratulations. And it looks to me like you made the right decisions for decades now. So thank you for the many years of great art. Looking forward to what's to come, and congrats on this new record.
Are we going to see you at Irving?
Hey, I hope to be there at Irving Plaza. I go to Irving once or twice a year, and it has to be worth it. And I think you're worth it at this point in time.
Well, shoot me an email. I'll put you on my personal list.
Paltrocast.